Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 303 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
What's up?
How's your Easter weekend going so far?
My Easter weekend is going, it's
Easter
going.
weekend. Yeah, we're going to church soon, so yeah, getting it in on Saturday.
It's going.
So I've been watching all the POVs of the stuff from Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel.
I think
you feel.
I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that there's so much coming out right now that I feel like we can't ignore it, because this is a big thing, and it does definitely affect, even if we are mainly about Disney, Universal absolutely affects.
So for me, I have to watch it because my daughter needs to make a decision whether she's going to go on it, right? So that's what we do. So we take the POV, we watch a little bit of it. Now, Star Chaser, Dust Racer, whatever it was called Racers versus what it's called now, because they changed the name like a million times. But that one was one we had to watch all the way through, because that was like, well, are you going to go on it? The rest of them, we really just watched to see what the ride looks like, kind of what the vibe is, and is it something that she would want to do. I don't think Harry Potter is the ride. I think it's Monsters Unchained. I mean, from what I've been hearing from other people, the queue at Harry Potter is phenomenal, but the ride, I think Monsters might be the ride, might be the big ride.
Yeah.
The whole virtual queue thing also is so annoying. I hate that. I hate it.
I have to agree with you, Damon, that I feel that the Harry Potter ride is very samey.
I will say, though, looking at it, the animatronics and the way the screens are done is superior to what we've seen. But the problem I have with the virtual queue is I like virtual queues if there's the ability to lightning lane. I think Disney does that part right. You're forcing me to miss out when maybe that's a 1 in 5 year trip for me. That's not fair. If you give me the option to say, hey, listen, if I want to use my hard-earned money and I know I can get in, well, I mean, listen, it's not guaranteed, but at Disney, you're pretty close to guaranteed if you want to pay. Like, let me have that option, man. That's the thing I don't like about it.
No, I mean, I get that. That's frustrating, but Disney did do that with Rise of the Resistance at first, right? Like, there was no pay option for Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, because they didn't have at all. But it got me. What happened was after looking at all this stuff, it had me thinking. I said, well, I saw an article. It's since we're, whether you guys are or not, I'm doing what I've seen on the web, that interests me. There really has been no amusement park innovation. So if you look at the past 5 years of actual innovation, do you know what it is? It's a trackless ride system.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true.
And that's nothing.
Trackless isn't even really new, because it's pretty much existed for a long time, just in a newer form. Yeah.
The robotic arms seem to be the only.
Yeah, the robotic arm thing. Yeah.
Robotic arm things were past that. Like, they're older than that. So just in the past 5 years, it's just trackless, right? Yeah. And I think to myself, well, that's pretty disappointing.
That's all we got.
I thought that we would have, I think that Universal is going to do it better than what they had previously, as well as what Disney has in terms of what they're doing. But there's still the innovation that I just I'm yearning for as we continue to see these, TikToks and videos of them walking on that, special floor that moves with them. Like,
oh yeah,
man, there's really been no innovation. So I guess it's immersion. I mean, I think the immersion is going to be great, but man, it made me sad that there really has been no real innovation. And I don't think anything Disney's announced either really is going to get us there. It might be, a better mousetrap.
Well, that's the thing, right? There's only so many ways you can move people around, and
but they have the floor. Like, why do we holograms? The floor, like, we have options. Where are they?
Too.
Yeah.
It's funny because every time I see a video of that floor, they always do that one demonstration where they're able to track somebody's hand, and they do like the force kind of thing, where you can like pull somebody. Like, so I almost feel like I don't know if that's just a use case that they developed for it, or if they actually have a plan to use it on a Star Wars attraction in some way, shape, or form. But I just don't even know how you do that.
Just not sure.
Yeah, doing that safely is a hard thing because as cool as it is, like having people or objects move across the floor, if you're ready for it and somebody pushes you, that's one thing. But there's a lot of people that don't have great balance, and you do like the floor moves them and people just fall over, right? And
I think that the void was such an interesting thing because I really think that it was innovation at the time, and it might not be now, but it was definitely innovation at the time. And that's where I kind of look for this floor. Like, why aren't we getting something like that with, a higher cost that exists at, maybe doesn't have to necessarily be in the park. But yeah, like I said, it was just interesting. And then I know we're going to talk about Test Track, and I was just so blah about it. Like, oh, dude, really?
Well, we don't even know what's on the inside yet.
It doesn't matter. Dude, listen, the whole point of like Test Track, where you design your car, dude, give me an LCD screen car. Like, can you do that? Can you make the paint be the color of what I chose, at least, if nothing else? Like, you can do that. I know we can do that. Why can't we do that?
I mean, it's weird because the original version of it almost felt like they didn't spend any money on it at all, right? Because it was like, it was.
I don't know. I think the second version with the Tron lines was still worse than the first version, but that's fine.
No. Most people feel that way. I'm just saying, like, it's weird because, like, I think maybe it could look cooler. I don't know, but who knows?
I like the ride. I mean, I think the ride itself is interesting, but again, like, we can do something innovative with these cars, and we just didn't. We didn't do anything.
Yeah, I just
think, listen, if the car changed color to what I picked, like
that would be cool.
For me.
That would be cool.
Yeah, like,
it's funny because they do something like that in Radiator Springs Racers, but it's an effect they do where depending on because there's two sides you go to, either to Ramon's or Luigi's.
Yeah,
and actually I think in Ramon's they fake give you a paint job, but again the car doesn't change color. But on the Luigi side, they do like the white wall tires on the vehicle, which
is it again, like that mirror effect that they do where it's like you're going by the mirror and the mirror showing you with that change on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
that would have been cool too.
Like at the very least, give you the illusion of
a projection. Project
you're
onto
doing
my car. Every car's white, and you just project onto it. Like, and actually, if you did that, you could probably project even more, right? Not just the color, but maybe any decals that you decided to put on or pinstripes.
Totally. Yeah,
got to be hard to do projection mapping on a moving object, though, too.
Yeah, but
it's way more developed now than it was.
Oh, it is. Like, that's true.
And the thing is, you're not talking about like it has to do with the whole ride.
No, just one part. Yeah,
just one part, man.
I mean, it's possible they do it because we haven't. They might do the same effect they do in Radiator Springs Racer because we haven't seen what happens on the inside of this ride at all yet, right? Like they could do
the color of the cars, though.
The cars are all black.
They are. Sure, but I don't know. But who knows if they are? Do we even know if that's like the final color of it? I mean, is it just like?
I mean, we're making assumptions, but I would think so.
They look like they're all just matte black, which is. Yeah,
I mean, they didn't really do anything with these things before that made them look all that cool. So I wasn't expecting much out of this. But I mean, I'm interested to see if they have that cool like light ring across the front. Because that is kind of cool. But I mean, I don't know.
The bar is low, dude.
What's that? No,
your car's low, but okay.
I'm just saying it will make it look cooler. I'm not saying that's like makes it way cooler, but I don't know.
I mean, I guess to that point is like that. I've seen people do very cool aftermarket modifications to their car.
Oh yeah.
That people can afford to do this stuff on a one-off basis. Like Disney could do it for an entire ride if they really wanted to. They could do all kinds of modifications to these vehicles. They just chose black vehicles.
I mean, but that could be the theme though too. I mean, that's could be what they're going for.
Dull and dreary is the theme.
It's boring.
I mean,
welcome to new test track. We're boring. Like
I think no matter what they do, they're going to get criticized for it because that's what happens every time with test track. So,
but I do enjoy the ride.
Yeah, no, of course. What do you care what color the car is if you still enjoy the ride?
No, but it's something else. Yeah, it is something else to bring it to that next level.
See how I bookend that back with what we just talked about?
Well, yeah, but it's. I mean, I just don't know what the story.
If you're not going to innovate, you have to have immersion.
I'm also looking at like the Epic thing is like they're reporting that it costs $7 billion to build, which means it's going to be the most expensive theme park of all time by a lot. Right?
Yeah, that's cool though.
No, I know.
It's
I know,
fantastic
but
that they did that.
I know, but what I'm saying
shows.
I guess what my point is, Damon, is like you're complaining that there wasn't enough innovation there. They're spending $7 billion, I guess, just on the immersion piece, right? Really? And
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like there's this trade-off. Like, so if you can't give me innovation, you should give me over the top immersion, and Test Track doesn't either. And that's what's disappointing.
But again, we don't know what the inside of it's going to look like. We have no idea what
$1 to donuts. We're getting black cars, and there's no projection on them. So
I'm making a prediction right now. The truck is still going to be in there.
Well, yeah, of course.
I hope so.
Yeah,
is it going to be any better than what it was, or no?
I would hope
it has to be, because the current version is not.
No. What if it's not?
How could they make it worse?
They could.
No, not worse. Just the same.
Yeah.
It's like a puppet show almost. Like that's how bad it is. Like it really is.
So, but what they're saying in this video is they purposely made it black to blend in with the environment, to make it so you can't see to see other cars. That's what I'm seeing in this video.
Okay.
But I mean, that's all I'm saying. But listen, I just want to see what the inside of it's going to look like. I think we're going to find out, by the way, probably right around the time that Epic starts to open. They're probably going to start announcing more stuff about this, because I'm sure they have pent up announcements that they're just waiting to do to get some attention. There's
no point 100%. Right now.
No. But they're going to try to do something.
I don't know. I think you let it die down first, because I think you just get lost in the sauce, man.
Don't you think it's weird though that we haven't heard anything? This is like literally the first thing.
Is anything?
No, it's just odd.
But like you're right, Damon. The thing is that there's going to be hype even after Epic opens, like for the next 2 months after.
Yeah, you gotta let that die down.
Yeah. They have to let that. They have to let that simmer, because if they try and throw anything out during that, it is going to absolutely just get lost. And even if it is something cool, people are going to miss it entirely. So Disney is playing their hand close to their chest, because they know as well as anybody else that there's a lot of hype around Epic Universe, and rightfully so. Like I think
immersion is crazy.
I think if anything, I hope Disney is taking notes right now, because like you, Damon, I've been watching videos of Epic Universe because I'm not going there anytime soon. So I'm like, I'm just going to check it out and see what I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is really cool. And I really hope that Disney realizes how far behind the 8 ball they are on the immersion piece.
I just disagree with that. The last
they
opened were super immersive. What are you talking about?
No,
Star Wars and Pandora? Are you kidding?
They're not the same, dude.
No, they are. I just disagree, man. I don't think they're behind on this at all. They're just haven't built a whole new theme park that they could make everything immersive.
Star Wars.
They're building little lands one at a time. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just quickly compare the monsters area to
it has a friggin' flaming windmill, by the way.
So at what point does the Millennium Falcon take off?
Good one, Trevor. I like that.
Because
also, that was 6 years ago. It was also 6 years ago it opened.
Really, 6 years ago? Okay, they did a one-time, hey, we got a little TIE fighter drone. It went up, went down. That was it. They have flying dragons at Epic Universe.
It is true.
Yeah, how long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? Really?
Longer than the one X-wing that was down for 5 minutes.
It's not going to last.
Yeah, it's not going to last. Event, if I remember.
This is a hype thing. It's not going to last at all.
but even outside of the flying dragons, they have you seen the animatronic? So there's the Toothless meet and greet. Yeah. But then there's the little walking around like Toothless's kids.
Part. Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry, but
they have these things. It's not. This is not
what do they have?
What are you talking about? What do they have? They've had animatronics like this they had 20 years ago. They had animatronics.
Where are they in the land that you're talking about?
You're right. They aren't doing that anymore. They were doing
that's exactly the point.
No, they should be doing it in Star Wars, right? They initially said they were going to do.
You just said Star Wars and this were the same, and what we're telling you is they don't have X, Y, and Z.
That's fair. No, I'm saying that the Star Wars is an immersive land. It's not that it's not.
It's as immersive.
Again, it was 6 years ago.
So Star Wars felt like
changes.
You just contradicted yourself. You said they've had these things for 20 years, but it was 6 years ago. So why didn't they just do it?
No, I'm not contradicting myself at all. I'm not talking about Star Wars from 6 years ago. I'm talking about they had Lucky the dinosaur 20 years ago. Like that's
you're right, but
that's literally contradicting.
Okay, but hold on.
I have to tap out on this.
Contradicting myself in any way, shape, or form.
I'm out. Hold on.
I'm out too, Trevor. He doesn't get it. That's fine. No, all right. Any DVC tip
reports? Disagree. I just disagree. It's not
it, Tom. It's okay though. There's DVC tips or trips reports. Did we get them?
No. Hold on. Reset for a second.
This is nonsense.
Okay. No. So if we're talking, like, I know you're bringing up like Disney has done all this stuff in the past.
They're still doing it. That all the lands they're opening, they're still doing it.
No, but they aren't. No, that's the thing is that.
Oh boy.
Okay, the latest thing that they did at Disney, so Batuu has been open for like 5 years. They're just getting the droids that we thought that they were going to do at open. 5 years later,
they should have done.
They're doing them, but the thing is Epic is doing all this stuff out of the gate, and then also
because it was built now. Okay, that's the point.
Hold on. No, hold on. Hold on. Let me finish.
You guys are not getting my point here at all.
The difference that I see between Star Wars Land and what I'm seeing at Epic Universe is Star Wars Land feels like I'm walking onto a set, or Batuu feels like I'm walking onto a set.
I don't think
it's very static. There's not a lot of movement to it. Besides, yes, they do have character actors and stuff.
They have animatronics out in the open too.
No,
I mean, they absolutely do.
Where?
The restaurant, they have that one animatronic that's cooking on the outside. They have other ones too. They have the robots walk. They had I've seen R2-D2 floating around there before. I mean, it's not,
Okay, but so I don't see videos of this, and the times that I've been there, I've not seen those things moving.
I'm just saying,
this exists every day you walk into the park at Epic.
The thing is that all I've seen at Epic is
now, will it? Who knows?
The windmill effect is amazing.
Ridiculous.
The stuff in Burke and How to Train Your Dragon. Again, there's lots of movement. There's lots of like outside of people interacting. There's things that are just happening. Like even like the ice dragon or the ice wraith that's like up in the corner. It's like, you're not seeing that stuff at Disney right now. Like Disney does need to take notes on it because yes, you're right, Tom. They did these lands, and we're not taking away from the fact that those lands are cool.
Yeah.
But this is the next level. That like the immersion part, Epic
Trevor,
has stepped it up.
Did you see the food place in the Monsters area?
No, I have not yet.
Okay, so you have to look because this is one of the things that really gets me. So there's the chairs that exist in the eatery are awesome, but it looks like there's like a few chairs per table maybe, and on the top of the chairs there's like a carved bat or a carved gargoyle, right? Things like that. And when I saw them, I immediately thought to myself, how long will those chairs be around? Oh, and the silverware.
This is what I'm
black.
talking about. Yeah.
Right? How long will there be black silverware there before people continue to take it? And will somebody actually like try to knock the tops off the chairs?
See, you're making the point exactly, Damon. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is all happening now. They have all this cool stuff now. But when it breaks or people start stealing things or, are they going to keep maintaining those dragons flying in the air when it costs them, hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix one? Probably
fly
not.
up there and grab a dragon? Like, I'm just talking about silverware, man.
No, but it's all of that.
How did that silverware work out at Pandora, by the way?
The silverware? No, you're talking about Star Wars.
The sports.
No, and Pandora, too.
People stole them, and then they eventually started selling them.
Which is why I feel like I have to go early, Trevor. It's like
this is my point.
It's like I have to go to see like all the stuff just in case something happens to it.
This is exactly what I'm
Tom's comparing silverware to immersion. So I'm just
saying you always have the cool stuff.
With you,
you always have the cool stuff at the beginning, and then things change as they go through operations. That's all I'm saying.
But you have to concede, Tom. Epic won only on, like, if we're talking just about the flying animatronics.
Oh yeah,
they've already won because they've had theirs in the air longer than Disney had theirs in the air.
Yeah, but also let's think about 6 years ago where drones were then and where drones are now. Right.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
They could absolutely go. I mean, sure, Disney could go and invest the money and start building what they, a drone to fly around Star Wars land all the time. Absolutely, they could do that. Right. So, yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying we're comparing something that, obviously they haven't built a wholesale new land or a wholesale new park. And I mean, they haven't built a wholesale new park in 25 years. Right. Mm-hmm. So in Florida, anyway, that's my only point. I'm not trying to say what they're not doing is better. It is better because it's right now. It's happening right now. You know what I mean? The technology is moving so quickly, and the amount of stuff that they are able to do now than opposed to what they did. And I mean, even Star Wars Land, right? Like, even though it opened, I'm saying 6 years. I think that's right.
It was right before.
It was right around there. It was right before pandemic.
It was right before COVID. Yeah.
But even then, the technology that they used was 3 or 4 years before that.
Sitting out there for an immersion factor is not new technology. It's just immersion.
Well, no, because you're talking about flying things. You're talking about.
I'm just talking
about the robot thing. You're talking about all that stuff is newer technology. Disney wasn't doing the walking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like. It's not. I'm not saying that they're not doing better.
I'm just talking about just the world building itself.
Yeah, sure.
Even if we take out all the animatronics, the worlds look better. Like Trevor said, the Star Wars stuff looks like this weird set. It doesn't feel immersive.
Yeah, so. I don't feel that way. But
like I said, without all the thing that gets me is, when you take away all the like animatronics and everything else, there's very little kinetic movement is what I find. Like that, like, yes, it looks like a canyon somewhere on a planet.
Yeah.
But nothing's moving. Like Disney used to do, and this gets me all the time. Like, when you look at old pictures of Tomorrowland, like, back in like the 70s and 80s, there was so much kinetic movement. There was
sure.
You saw stuff, I know the people mover's still a thing. It still zips by, but they've stopped doing that. And in these new lands, it's like they built the set and they're like, yeah, here we got the whole set, but there's nothing that draws your eye to it. Like again, I'm going to compare even Batu to Cars Land. Like Cars Land, without any, without Lightning McQueen showing up or anything, it has movement to it. There is lighting. There is a feel to it that it has that immersion. Like Disney can do that. No, they just seem to have dropped the ball on it the last couple of times.
Maybe in Florida. I mean, if you look at some of the Asian parks,
you're right. I'm not going outside of Florida.
But I guess that's what my point is, though. Too. It's not that Disney's not capable of it. It's just like they're doing it at their other parks in Asia, right? Like they just haven't done it at Disney World.
But is that a money thing?
They wake up.
It is a money thing.
Start doing it.
It's 100% a money thing
because they don't own the whole parks over there.
They don't pay. They basically have. They don't have unlimited budgets at the Asian parks, but they have much higher budgets, right? Like so they can do a lot more.
It makes me think about the Millennium Falcon too. Like I just is like I don't know, man. Something even when I saw it for the first time, like it just wasn't it.
Well, I think it looks pretty cool, but I mean, yeah,
it looks. It's a cool.
I think it looks pretty accurate. Yeah,
but it needs like there has to be stuff going on with it. Like I know that they've like
the smoke coming off of it sometimes. Yeah.
But it needs to be more. It needs to be more prevalent because this is what like you can't stand around for 2 hours hoping to see it. It has to be something that. Happens enough that you catch it as you're walking through the land.
I agree. I guess what my point is, I'm saying as a company, they can do it. They're doing it in their other parks. They're just not doing it at Disney World like they could be. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like, and I hope that they wake up to that soon because
yeah, sure. No,
Epic
think,
is a that's a call out to them that Disney needs to pay attention to what Epic is doing, and I'm sure they are.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm curious about what the food's like. I think I might have to hop on a Food Time episode when I come back.
You're not allowed on Food Time.
Just to talk about Universal food.
Okay, I mean, we weren't going to
do a special intro for Damon when he's on that episode.
So should I just change the song to say Damon is here?
Because he went to Universal and he needed to eat the garlic pretzel steak. which looks kind of interesting.
I just saw an article, by the way, that if you do like the Monster experience, that you're not allowed to drink afterwards. Like they won't serve you alcohol if you've done the Monster paint thing. And I'm thinking maybe they just don't want drunk monsters.
That totally tracks.
It does track. I just thought it was funny. Like I wouldn't.
What if I got my face painted? What if I did it?
Oh, I would. But see, that would be funny, Damon, if you got your face painted and then posted a picture of yourself with your face painted, because you're not showing your face.
I would
still are.
Listen, but the podcast I would have to pay for it. I couldn't possibly, in like any good faith, like. Pay for that,
volunteer for that.
Even if I had the money, like I couldn't, in good faith, do such a thing.
As the entire board of Welcome Home Podcast LLC, I approve. I approve this expense.
It depends. The problem is how long is it? That's still the dilemma. I feel like, but I would totally do it. Like, I just don't know what I would even want. Do I go Frankenstein? Do I go Dracula?
Yeah,
like Wolfman. Like I don't know.
I would go Wolfman. Wolfman
would be the way to go. I think Frankenstein's monster would be kind of cool too. I guess. But. Yeah. Look, I feel like my opinion on these things is getting, maybe it's getting skewed by myself by not explaining myself well enough. Epic Universe looks awesome. They did an amazing job. I'm just saying that I think Disney does that too. They're just not doing it here like they should be. Like that's really what it is. But hopefully, to your point, Trevor, having this down the street from them pushes them to do it here and actually commit to doing it here.
It just, we haven't seen anything in the cut to suggest that yet. So we just hope.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the point of, Disney's not announcing anything right now. They're probably waiting until
Cars Land is like going to be fire. Like I hope Cars Land is just like,
I mean, if it's anything like Radiator Springs in California Adventure, like it'll be amazing because like that's one of the few places, like the first time I walked into the land, I was like, whoa. Like this is really cool.
Well, and that's the thing. We know so little about the projects they're working on, and that's probably, like you said, it's probably on purpose, right? Like they know that Epic's going to suck all the air out of the room, right? Like that's, they're going to release things after things quiet down a little bit more. But somebody posted this in the Discord, and I think the correct read on it, and I've said this for a long time, and it was Scott Gustin, the guy that does probably like the foremost theme park journalist, if that's a profession, but he said. Nobody at Universal expects Epic to be a Disney killer, and nobody at Disney expects Epic to be, a Disney killer. And both of them hope that that's true, because neither one of them, they would be in a lot of trouble if they do well because each other do
anyway. I still think there's a very distinct audience,
that's true. Yeah.
Skew at each part.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Yeah, you're not seeing princesses at Universal, right?
No,
like you're not seeing
Frankenstein and Dracula now.
That's a little different.
It isn't apples to apples. You're right.
For sure.
I don't think it will ever be.
No, it won't be.
There's no reason they can't take notes from each other.
Sure.
That's the thing. It's they're running a different 100%. Race, but they can.
See, Trevor. So here's interesting though. Like, do little kids even care?
I mean,
it's interesting now because now it's like, do I need that immersion for kids that are 4?
Well, that's so care about immersion. I don't know. Yeah,
I will argue that if you want to talk about that immersion, like some of my earliest memories of Disney became like core memories that stuck with me for years. Even though when I was a kid, it was 5 years between trips for me.
Yeah,
and just that going to those parks was enough that it stuck in my head for years. So,
well,
I mean,
did the details do that though? Like, because I feel like I didn't really appreciate the parks until I was older and really noticed the level of detail of things.
But that's the wild thing is that I think when you're a kid, you do kind of fill in some of the blanks with imagination.
Sure. Yeah.
And, you don't notice all the details, but then there are things that you may notice that like for me, like the Yeti in the Matterhorn, like that stuck with me. Like it was like a split second thing that happened on the ride. If you think about it's like maybe a second that you see it, that stuck with me. So
I get that.
There is something to be said for, they don't have to go for like the lowest barb, nobody's going to notice. But, and also the same thing, like my son with Cars Land, like he was very into cars the first time we went there, and you could see it on his face. Like,
sure.
he was all about it. And again, that was something where like even after we left, it was a source of excitement for him that, when we said, oh, we're going back to Disney, it's like, we're going to go to Cars again. It's like, yes, it does matter for the kids as much as it does for us, as the the adults, like, combing through all the details with a fine tooth comb, but it does need to be there for the kids too. And
Sure.
Kids deserve to be wowed as much as the parents do.
I mean, I think it's a lot easier though to impress you when you're 5 than when you're 30. You know what I mean?
But that's actually the beauty of it, is that thing that impresses you when you're 5, when you become 30, you appreciate
it more.
The thought that went into it and how they did it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is an interesting conversation around this, right? Because I totally understand what you guys are saying, and I agree with you. They've created extraordinarily immersive park, right? Do I think if Disney built a wholesale brand new park from scratch now that they could do that? Yeah, I do think they could, but they're just not doing that. Everything's been so piecemeal. It's like, a land here, a land there. It makes it a little harder to have a cohesive thing, but they should still do those things. They should still do more of that. And they, Star Wars was supposed to be that. Remember, there was like games you were supposed to play. You were supposed to like have a reputation that gets built up. And you remember all that stuff that was supposed to be there. And then for some reason it all got abandoned. I don't know if it was a COVID thing or what happened there, but that was all supposed to be part of it.
I hate to say it, but I think part of it was that it is a reflection of their leadership at various points. Chapek, Chapek, unfortunately, he did cut a lot of stuff out, and you're still seeing the ramifications of that. Is that there's a lot of things that we talk about, we miss, that were, to your point, there's things that used to be in the parks.
Sure.
They're not there anymore because they decided to cut budgets, even going so far as like, in Hollywood studios, the
actors on the street,
the actors on I
forget what they were called.
The people of Hollywood Boulevard or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. They had all that.
But so just taking things like that out has just really flattened the experience. It's made it dull.
I think what happens sometimes too, and I don't know how many people actually realize this, but Imagineering creates everything, they build everything, right? And then when they're done with that, they hand everything off to operations at the parks. And believe it or not, they're like separate entities, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they're totally separate entities. So just because
I work in projects, I understand project to ops transitions.
Exactly. So, but what happens, I think, sometimes in that is that ops is like, well, we can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
it's not maintainable, or it's not built in a way that they can do it. Yeah.
So it's like, that was a great idea, but is it practical? Probably not. Because we talked about this a bunch of times too. And I don't know how this is going to shake out at Universal either. But like, the whole droid thing, the roaming droid thing, and Damon, you've said this many times where like, if just there's a droid roaming around, how long till a kid jumps on top of it and breaks it? Like 5 minutes, right? Like, and that's like probably why they cut back on that in the first place. But I mean, they still developed it. You can actually, there was a whole thing on Disney Plus where you could watch them with the free roaming droids that they built for Galaxy's Edge and just never did, and just never put out there, for one reason or another. I mean, we don't really know the reason why, but there, probably is one. But yeah, I agree with you, Trevor. I hope that they do that based on the pressure of competition. I mean, it's something I hope they do. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we totally got off track once again. I think maybe we should just put it on the rundown that Epic Universe talk for the first 30 minutes. I
feel like I need to, like, if we're gonna keep doing this, I need to actually like have my thoughts better in line here, because I feel like I don't do a good enough job of saying what my point of view is on this. Because I feel like everyone thinks I'm just being like a hater, and I'm not at all. I'm totally fine.
I get you're trying to see both sides of it. I agree with you there that, Disney, I don't discount the stuff that Disney has done, but the whole thing about Epic Universe is that it just shows where, hey, there is room for improvement. There is room for,
if you drop $7 billion.
Well,
right.
I mean, even I don't, the windmill did not cost $7 billion. Like, it was an entire theme park. The windmill is one part of it. And,
no, of course. Yeah.
Disney could do stuff like the windmill. They just haven't. But anyway, let's so we do have some listener questions. I would really like to actually
should we
try and get through our listener questions?
Should we do
there's no tips? Wait, there's no tips or
do we have tips?
Not this week. We're still
dude, that's such a disappointment.
We'll get them eventually. It takes time for these things.
Okay, so for anybody listening, please call into our tip line. That is 833 WHP-TIPS. And
I'm going to call fake ones in.
You go ahead, do it. I don't care. I want to hear you do like a fake voice, and I'll play that on there.
Oh, dude, that says AI. That's super easy now.
You just do an AI voice? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. Do that. Can I
call right now? Like, what would happen if I called right now while I was on the show?
I don't know. It'd probably be good to test it out. Why don't we do our ad, and then we can talk about this other stuff.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll start the ad here. So this week, our sponsor is DVC Rental Store, which is a World of DVC company that offers magical vacations at an incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. As always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
I also want to mention, too, there's something else in here. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you added an extra.
I did. I didn't. Yeah. I didn't tell you that. I should have probably said that beforehand. So DVC Rental Store wanted our listeners to know that if you're looking to rent points right now, they are offering a huge promotion right now. They're offering their lowest points of the prices of the year to rent DVC rooms. So go check that out because they're offering big discounts right now. So definitely go and check out the site and see. Especially if you wanted to try out DVC, there's no better way of trying out before you buy it than renting, right? So, yeah.
I think this is the first time that we've done the ad without actually even being in the show yet. And I think it's the first time that I'm actually going to be on the show where I'm not even going to get to the first thing in the show.
I mean, probably, yeah. That sounds about right.
That's crazy.
That does sound about right.
The only thing I would say is that, like, I looked at the questions, and the only one that actually is of interest that I'm going to answer before I go so I can get ready for church is I would stay, if I had to have a relatively relaxing trip, what DVC resort would I stay at?
That's from Jason G, by the way.
That's from Jason G. I guess it would have to be probably Old Key so I could play tennis. I mean, I don't know if that's relaxing for other people, but if I'm having a relaxing trip, it needs to be as cheap point-wise as possible and the ability to play tennis.
See, I don't care. If I'm having a relaxing trip, I don't really care about the point value. I feel like at that point, if I'm just going to like hang out at the resort, then I don't really care about the ticket price. I don't care about the price because I'm not paying for tickets. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's still points.
I can go to any resort I want.
Yeah.
So
for me, the criteria is it an area that's maybe quiet and has something to look at, or is relaxing? So for me, I would say two different places. I would say Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom. And again, maybe I'm just being like a homer here, but by saying Animal Kingdom. But you could sit out on your porch and watch animals all day if you want to. There's it's a pretty cool thing to watch. So a lot of people would like doing that. I would do. I've done it before. We've done midday breaks where we've just sat out there and watched the animals for a couple hours. It's a nice relaxing thing to do.
Yeah.
Trevor's going to say Polly.
No. I actually
an answer to this.
I mean, Polly is definitely one that I would stay at. But I mean, if I'm looking at criteria for a place to relax, like for me, the things that I care about is, I like to spend time by the pool if I'm just having a relaxing trip. So, Wilderness Lodge is still on the table for me. Like, I think they have, a great pool area. And I think that overall the feel of the resort, like you can just wander around the resort and just look at stuff, and that's fine. The other thing though, that I think is important if you're just staying at a resort is, food options. So I think Wilderness Lodge is actually a good choice because they have a couple of different food options there. So like you don't always have to hit the quick service. You can go to what's it called? What's the one where they bring you like way too much ketchup?
You're talking about Whispering Canyon?
Whispering Canyon, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I knew it was Canyon something. So like Whispering Canyon, there's the Storybook dining there as well, like for something again a bit more expensive, but I think a place like that is a great just staying at the resort kind of place because there is lots of options. I would also even go so far as to say staying at the Riviera is a good one because it is it's central to a lot of other resorts for that point of having places to go and eat if you're not going into the parks. Riviera is a good one because you can get on the Skyliner and hop to a couple of different resorts to go and have different food options.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I could see myself hanging out there. Like, that would be good. All right. Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I liked that Dan's question of how many points would you be willing to spend to stay in the new poly model villa inside the Canadian Pavilion? Kind of like I
had to read this question like three times when I was like, poly villa.
I'm getting it. Yeah.
Where? Yeah. Right. Okay. So the demo villa they have inside of the Canada Pavilion, which
yes,
let's not assume that there's actual like proper plumbing.
No, there's definitely not. Right.
Yeah. But how many points to stay in there? I mean, if it was like Cinderella Castle, I mean, the hard part is like in my head, I was like, well, it would, I wouldn't pay any more than I would to stay in a bungalow, I guess.
True.
So like, the however much it is, like 300 points a night or whatever it is, whatever exorbitant amount it is. I haven't looked at the point values for the bungalow in a while. Actually, so I don't even think it's 300. I think it's like 150 a night or something like that. But like to me, it feels like it would have to be a lot of points because you are staying in a park, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then there is also the point of because you're staying in a park that actually does detract from it a little bit because you're not
can't really go anywhere at night.
Yeah. It's not like you have free roam of the park after hours, or if you did, that would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't pay any more than I would pay for a bungalow. I guess that's my limit on how many points I would pay.
That makes sense to me. Because it's like, I'm just trying to think here. Like, what would you pay for the Cinderella suite at Magic Kingdom? Is that a different equation, right? It's like, that's a different amount because it's Magic Kingdom and you're in the castle and it's like the crown jewel kind of thing. Or
it's far more bougie than staying in like a clone of the Polynesian villas.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't know, man. I think it would have to be a lot of points, like a ton of points. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good. I thought it was an interesting question, though. I thought it was a fun one.
But I like it sounds cool on paper, but when I start thinking about it practically, there's many other places I would actually stay before I would want to go into one of or go stay in the Canada Pavilion, especially like reading inside the Canada Pavilion. It's like, why would I go all the way down to Florida to stay in a pavilion that is, a clone of Canada where I'm from?
Yeah.
Right. Like it seems to me, it seems a little silly to like go all the way to Florida to stay in a pavilion that I live.
Well, I think for you have to pretend like it's another pavilion, right? Like, what if it's like the French pavilion or something? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, fair. I mean, if it was another country pavilion, I would probably be a little more interested because there is also the aspect of, you have to stay in the room, but I feel like, even leading up to close, park close, like I would spend time exploring the pavilion or whatever. But if it's the Canada Pavilion, it's not that I don't like the Canada Pavilion. I definitely, stop and, I'll poke my head in there every time I go by, but it's usually from a lens of like, this looks like a gift shop that I've seen in Vancouver. Like,
well, yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Well, I like those questions. I thought there were some fun ones in there. So that's good. Mm-hmm. We were going to talk about, we kind of already talked about the test track vehicles. Like I said, I want to see how this fits into the larger thing. If they made them black so that it's like blends in with the rest of it and you can't really see them, I think that could be cool, but I understand the thought of wanting to make them, something cooler than that.
I mean, to that point, the whole thing is the ride is called Test Track, which assumes it is about the vehicles, right? It's not about, or it should be about the vehicles, but it's not like or if they're trying to blend in the vehicles with the background, it's an interesting choice, but I guess we'll have to see what the intent is when the ride actually reopens.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. All right. This next piece you have on here, V.I.Passholder Days returning to Walt Disney World summer 2025.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what this was.
It was just like special events for pass holders.
Right. But I guess, I mean, the times that I had an annual pass, I was never able to partake.
Never able to go.
Special events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, these special events never run whenever I'm there because I'm never there during a busy time, I guess.
I feel like all this stuff is happening like right after we leave. Like there's so many things that are happening starting after we're gone.
Which I mean makes sense because this is that we're heading into May, which is that lead up to the start of summer. So yeah, I think a lot of things kind of start end of May going into June, right? Yeah. Actually, this says it starts May 14th, which is I'll be there, but again, I won't have an annual pass. So
yeah, the last time they did this, they had like a special pass holder magnet. They had like discounts, and then they had that lounge. They had a pass holder lounge,
right?
And then some other like random perks too. So like that's pretty much what it is. What I've been trying to figure out, Trevor, and I actually asked this in the Discord, and this is kind of sort of relevant to this, is should I buy the membership Magic Beyond, even though I'm only going to be there for 2 days, and I may not go again this year? Like, is it worth it to spend the $100 for the 2 days that I'm going to be there? I'm going to be in both parks that have lounges, so there's that.
And just for the you get the photo pass, right?
Yeah.
So just for the fact that photo pass is built into it, I mean, because you're at that point where you're really going to make use of photo pass. Like even for those couple of days, I assume you're going to be going and doing like character meets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, yeah, between that and the getting fast passes to the lounge, I don't think it's a bad idea to go for it, like because it is cheaper than getting Memory Maker, right?
Yeah.
So that right there is your answer.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of. But I mean, here's the thing: how much am I really going to use Memory Maker over 2 days? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you can make
you can use
it.
Yes, I can go out of my way to do it. Yeah, I could.
And I mean, the thing is it's it's every ride that you go on, and it's every character meet. Like and even like there's like those photos you do in front of the castle and stuff, like the zoom out photos and everything.
That's true.
Yeah, like those things don't take very long. Like, and I guess the thing is if you have it, like every time we've gone and we've had Memory Maker, Photo Pass, whatever, we've gone out of our way, I guess, that we're walking on our way to a ride, but if you see like a Photo Pass cast member, we'll just stop and be like, hey, can we get a photo? Like most of the there's a lot of good photo op stuff that it's not necessarily character meets, but there is like you can definitely make use of it because there's a lot more Photo Pass cast members than you realize, and because they're doing like the magic shots and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess I could do that.
There, have I talked you into it sufficiently?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Just do it. Just go for it, Tom.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
On the flip side, I was actually I was looking at this too because we're gonna be there, and I was like, do I get Memory Maker? But then I thought about it, and I realized that we're not. So on the flip side, my brother and I are going to be there. We're not going to be stopping for like photo character meets and stuff. My wife was very disappointed because she wanted us to go and do the Transformers where you meet Megatron.
Yeah.
And I said, we're probably we want to hit rides and stuff. We're not going to stop for this. She was very disappointed when she heard that because that's her kind of stuff, right? Like,
really?
She would love to do that. Well, she loves like character meets and all that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I realized that while we're there, so we're going to be doing all the rides, and I was going to pay for Memory Maker because I was like, I want to make sure that we at least get our ride photos. But then I realized that if you get the Premier Lightning Lane, that does include ride photos.
It does, yeah.
So I was like,
are you going to do that though?
Yeah, it's the Premier Lightning Lane is actually looking a lot more attractive because one, it gets us. So it also does include lightning lanes for the normal rides that are individual. So like Tron and Guardians.
Yeah.
Those get included in the Premier, but then also it includes the ride photos. So I'm thinking I may just skip on Memory Maker altogether and just use the Premier Photo Pass. And I know it is like, I'm not saving money on it, but it is a huge time savings for us, which like, like this is my only trip to Disney World this year. And it's my brother's only trip. I don't know when he's going to go back, or he will go back at some point, I think with his family, but it's probably going to be years out for him. So like, again, this comes down to, the whole time versus money thing. So it's funny that like I'm talking you into like, you should get this thing because it's cheaper than Memory Maker, but I'm going for the more expensive thing that like, yeah, it would actually be better for me to get Memory Maker and just, deal with lightning lanes. And, I could just get the regular multipass, but I'm leaning towards the Premier right now because I feel like it's going to be of more value to me than getting all those separate pieces. Right.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I actually looked into doing the Premier Pass for Magic Kingdom because they show you the prices ahead of time now. It was $400 a person. And I was like, no, that's more than the tickets for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like that's the thing is I know it's expensive, but for us, it's going to be kind of a, this is a once it's a once in a lifetime thing in the fact that it's me and my brother on a trip without our families. So
yeah, it's different.
We are. Yeah. I think we can justify it a little bit more.
No, I mean, that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. So yeah. Okay. Why don't we just do one more thing here, Trevor?
Sure.
And then I was thinking we talk about this Hong Kong Disneyland thing because I thought it sounded kind of interesting.
All right.
And then, whatever else we had on here, we could do it at a later time. So
yeah, maybe we can
right.
Yeah. Cause we do, or we have to figure out some waitlist stuff too, which, since we're both going to be gone, we're not going to have shows coming up here in a couple of weeks. So
yeah,
we're going to have a couple of, or one, maybe two waitlists. We haven't decided that yet. I think.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, since we're going to be gone, there's going to be, it's going to be some stuff. So,
okay. So Hong Kong Disney.
Yeah. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary and they're doing some cool stuff. First of all, just this first picture, Trevor, you know what I'm going to say.
The drones look fantastic.
Dude, that's a lot of drones. First of all, number one, and number two, that looks incredible. I mean, I don't know if this is concept art or if they took
I was going to say,
is
that real or is that like it? It's really hard to tell. Honestly,
it looks real to me. It looks real to me.
I got to zoom in on this. Like,
yeah, because so the basically this is all part of that show, the show that they're having that they're debuting called Momentous, which is going to have a special anniversary version, and it's going to have these projections. And although it's funny because they don't even mention the drones in here. Oh no, they do say it. Okay, with drones, water projections, choreographed water fountains, flames, lasers, lighting, pyrotechnics. It's a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know if these are actual pictures or not, Trevor. They certainly look like they're real pictures.
I'm literally like zooming in really hard.
See? Yeah.
like I'm trying to figure out if there's like weird
it looks too
shadowing
perfect.
And stuff.
Yeah, it looks too perfect. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the thing is that the it look like the surrounding area, this looks like the trees and everything look real. It doesn't look like character or concept art interpretation of trees, which are usually very fuzzy.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to say that this is the majority of the the image is real. I don't know I feel like the drones could have been put in there because it doesn't.
Some of these drone shows I've seen though are really crisp. I mean, they're really well done. You know, like they look this good. I feel like.
Yeah, and then the problem is because you've got the castle projection too. Like that's really like, and we know like castle projections also look out of this world.
Sure. Yeah.
Everything combined here just makes it look like it's concept art. But if this is how it really looks, like that's going to be a cool show.
100%. Right. And I'm just looking at it. It just looks, I mean, it looks like a real photo. It really does. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because usually you can tell with concept art, but this looks like they took a photo. Now, maybe they took a real photo and then enhanced it a little bit, you know?
I'm leaning towards that, but like I said, and looking at these other photos, like, the details of like the surrounding hills and, the trees and everything, it all looks accurate to the other photos on here.
It does. Yeah.
Like it doesn't. Yeah. Like compared to the concept art stuff, like the backgrounds are usually very like, they do it on purpose. The background's just very fuzzy and whatnot. This is, I feel like this is what people are going to get for the show.
Well, I mean, and also too, if you scroll down to see the parade, this Friendtastic parade, they have a picture of the float, and that float looks so vivid that it doesn't look real either. But then if you go down, you can see the concept art, and actually, I feel like it almost looks better than the concept art.
You know what the float reminds me of? That scene in Hook where they're eating the imaginary meal, and then it becomes real, and all the there's like all the like plates of like whipped cream or whatever. It kind of looks like that. Like it looks like colored icing or whipped cream, which is, it's weird, but like, again, you're right. It's very cool. Like it looks unreal.
Yeah, it does.
Which, I mean, that means, they've definitely done a good job on these floats and all the stuff that they're proposing here for the 20th anniversary, and even the projections on Main Street look amazing. Like, again, it
just all looks so vivid.
I think those are, and actually, to that point, I think it's, whatever camera they're using, they're using like, night sight, which gives you a very strong picture of any lighting, basically, right? So it's this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that the parks overseas do a really great job of immersion and really wowing you, and I just hope we see stuff like this in Florida sometime soon, because
I agree.
Like this drone show, or all the stuff that they're doing with the castle, with the drone show and everything, I really want to see that. Like, I want to see that happen in Florida. I hope that Disney has something up their sleeve to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why they can't. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe there's a good reason why they can't do the drone shows in Florida. I don't know, right? But like, you think they would have done it by now. I mean, they did, at Disney Springs for a little while. But why is there no drone portion of Happily Ever After, right? Like, they could just add it on. They don't even need to do a new show for it. They just make a drone portion of Happily Ever After,
I think they closed down part of Fantasyland because of the fireworks, right? Because it's a safety thing. I feel like they need to have a plan in place if they're doing a drone show, because if drones fall out of the sky, or if there's a failure or whatever, I think it's just making sure that somebody can pick them up in Fantasyland before they open the walkways back up to the public.
yeah. I know what you mean.
Because I could also see the other side of this too, where if something like not just the safety part of a drone failed and fell down, but what if a drone fell like into the middle of Fantasyland and somebody picked it up and walked away with it before a cast member could get to it? Like,
I could see that. I mean, they'd have to have the drones like where they shoot the fireworks off, because they shoot the fireworks off like back in like that employee parking lot area, like way behind Magic Kingdom. Well, like, you'd have to have them displaying there, but not all. So the reason that they close off Fantasyland is that there are some fireworks that go off immediately inside of Fantasyland. That's true. Yes, off the castle. Yes.
Yeah. So they could do, and I think the thing is you're right. They could do it one way or the other, where they either do them like really like immediately in front of the castle or like next to the castle, or do them really far back so that, either way they're not, or, people aren't in the path of where the drones would be if, like, thinking about how failures would go, because literally you have large plastic objects falling out of the sky. But
it's large, heavy objects like that. That'd be rough. So
but you're right. Like I feel like Disney, they should be doing that, or they could have done that in the last couple of years, and I just feel like somebody missed the boat on it.
The guy that's the head of the nighttime shows has, like, he said like a couple of years ago, he's like, drone shows are coming to Disney World. They're coming. Like, there's obviously something stopping them from doing it. I don't know what it is, but there's something.
Yeah.
Because they want to do it. I mean, they do it everywhere else, right? Like, and there's no reason why they can't do it.
Well, and that's a weird thing, right?
Yeah,
like that's exactly the point. Is that we're seeing it so many other places, and it's like it does. The absence of it is actually speaking louder than if they did it but did it poorly. Like, it's like,
sure, yeah,
like when everybody, you're seeing it in Hong Kong Disney and all that, and then it's like you're turning to Florida and you're like, guys, why are you not doing this? And it's like,
there's got to be a reason. There has to be some sort of reason why they haven't done it yet. I just tend to believe that they want to do it. There's no reason for them not to, but there's probably something, right? Like, there's probably something with safety or getting approval, or I don't know. There has to be something stopping them. I just don't know we just don't know. We have no idea what it is. We don't have a source inside of, the entertainment group where they can tell us what's going on.
But I guess if you really want to see it, Tom, you got to start figuring out a trip to Hong Kong.
Oh God, that's not happening anytime soon. That's way too long of a flight.
Come on, it'll be fine. You could do one flight to like California, and then you could get on another plane to Hong Kong, and
it's just that sounds like a lot. How about you go to Hong Kong?
I mean, I want to go to Japan before I go to Hong Kong, but I mean, I guess if I'm heading over there, I could probably
just get on over there,
swing that. Yeah.
All right, let's.
I have a friend that did that trip. Actually, he went to Japan and then went to visit family in Hong Kong. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'll ask him how that played out, but.
All right, Trevor, let's wrap this up. I do want to say first that we are going to have a food time episode this week. We are going to do our first food time. And I think I mentioned before, this is going to be a video podcast. This is going to be our first one that we're doing, obviously. So production value, not going to be where we want it to be yet, but we're going to get there.
We have to start somewhere, and it's going to be a mess, and it'll be fine.
Yes, it will be fine. We still got the song. It's still there. It's so the graphic part not going to be there yet, but we'll get there. So anyway, wrap us up.
Okay, so as usual, for anything you heard about on the show, or if you have your own trip reports or things that you want to, share tips with us, so you can always email us though at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys and hearing what you have going on with your Disney planning and all that. And similarly, we are on social media, so you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and you can find us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure on Facebook you check out our group Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where we talk about stuff from the shows. There's memes that pop up in there. I am seeing the memes. My wife and I, we've been watching in the group. I appreciate all of you that are putting in the memes about stuff that we're talking about on the show. Very funny. Love seeing that again. Keep it coming, because we love a good meme. But also, if you have your own, if you want to talk about stuff for planning your own trips, all that kind of stuff, the wait list is a great place to talk about that stuff. Also, if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our different merch on there. Again, if you're planning a trip and you need some shirts, we have shirts. Get a Welcome Home Podcast shirt. Send us a pic of you wearing our shirt in the park as well. We love seeing that stuff. It's very cool that we have merch out there that people wear around the parks and all that. Similarly, we also have a Patreon, so you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out our different levels of Patreon support that have an exclusive logo, so you can get some exclusive Welcome Home merch from the Patreon that you can't get on the main store. And all of our Patreon listeners get access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we talk about some of the different topics on the show and just general general Disney stuff as well. And our Patreon supporters also get early access to things like food time. So, if you're a Patreon supporter, you will get food time before anybody else. So, hopefully that's, hopefully people enjoy that as we go into our first episode here shortly.
Should be fun.
And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or any site where you can leave us reviews, leave us a 5-star review. It just helps us. It helps get our name out there more. It helps the algorithm, put us in front of more people, and leave us a review on iTunes as well. We love seeing those written reviews of what you guys think about the show. I assume I don't think we had any new ones this week, Tom.
No.
Yeah. So,
we have one, but it's kind of negative, and I don't want to read it.
Why not?
I don't know. It just was kind of like, I mean, it's still a 5-star review. It's just, saying that we should enjoyable, but wish you would do more about DVC and less about other stuff. We've heard that message, and we're doing it. So
yeah, we are definitely talking more DVC stuff, but I would, that is fair criticism, and sure, I like hearing that, but I would argue that DVC is, they're not pumping out stuff weekly, so it's very hard to talk about DVC exclusively every week. So
exactly.
And we can't. We talk about it whenever there is news to talk about. We hear you guys. We are making sure that we're focusing on it when it's there.
And that's why we broke off Food Time into its own show, so you can choose whether you want to listen to it or not.
Exactly.
So, but on top of that, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney cast member or DVC cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Rental Store, for sponsoring this episode. Please check them out. Like I said, they got a huge promotion going on right now, so there's very few better times to rent than now. I almost said buy, but the rent, you want to rent or rent out your points, but if you're looking to rent a DVC room, now's the time to do it. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion, of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.